Melissa would sometimes cry in her room because of what she was seeing and understanding. Melissa cried in her room again. When her grandmother heard her, she quietly came into her room and asked if it was her. Okay. Before going in, Melissa said yes and allowed her grandmother to come in. Hey, sweetie. What's wrong? Eve's been hearing you crying a lot lately, have you? Okay, sweetie. I'm scared, Grandma. What are you scared of, honey? Grandma asked. Melissa told her grandmother everything, and her grandmother gave her a big hug. Melissa, my dear, I was always afraid this would happen and you'd inherit my gift. But I guess it was meant to be, her grandmother said. After her grandmother died, Melissa did not know what to do next. She was only 15 and thought she would be sent to an orphanage and then to a foster home. Melissa didn't want that to happen, so she decided to run away and hide somewhere far away. She didn't really understand why she made this decision, but she thought she could make it work somehow. Mr. Wesley Harris kissed his daughter on the forehead and said he would try to get home early. Chelsea sighed and said that was it. Okay, Dad. You don't have to feel guilty about being at work all the time. It'll be okay. Go ahead. Chelsea reassured her father. We could do a movie night tonight. Do you want to pick something fun? Wesley asked, trying to cheer her up. It's okay, Dad. Don't worry. It'll be fine. Actually, I wanted to talk to you about something. Chelsea added. What is it, sweetheart? Mr. Harris asked. Do you think we can try to find someone, honey? Are you sure? Her father asked, with concern. Chelsea didn't want her father to hire a caregiver who would only provide routine medical treatments and treat her like a baby. Instead, she wanted someone who can just talk with her. She also asked not to consider the agencies. What's up with the nurses from the agencies that they're not real? They're like machines, you know. They act according to all the rules and instructions. I'm not connecting with them. They're just cold. Wesley kissed his daughter once again and said he will try to figure something out. Wesley was going to work and thinking that life is really weird. About 5 years ago, he had a family that was very happy, but now his wife passed away in a car accident and his daughter is very sick and can't get out of bed. Wesley's spending a lot of money on her medicine, but her health is getting worse every day. The doctors are not optimistic about her condition and are saying that her illness is getting worse at first. It wasn't so frightening. Chelsea received treatment and was living like any other child. She still needed to take medicine, but nobody was aware of it. At some point, everything changed for the worse. Chelsea began losing weight quickly and became very feeble. It's been a year, and she barely leaves her bed. Sometimes she can sit up by leaning on soft pillows. Recently, she has been experiencing more pain. Every time Wesley saw his daughter in pain, his heart ached, he felt helpless, and had been struggling to deal with it. Although doctors have prescribed some painkillers, they didn't seem to last long, and Chelsea was becoming more tolerant to stronger painkillers. Wesley pulled up to the parking lot outside of his office. Mr. Harris, do you think I could go earlier today? My wife is getting discharged from the maternity. The war. Today? Wesley's driver was looking at him through the rear-view mirror. Oh, wow. Congratulations. Yeah, sure. Go right ahead. Let me know if you need anything. All good, sir, thanks. You can leave the keys and take a day off tomorrow if you need. Oh, can I appreciate it, Mr. Harris. So, is it a boy, girl? It's a girl. We named her Melissa. Wesley smiled and said it was a beautiful name. All right, have fun. And congratulations. Once again, Wesley got out of the car and went to his office. Everything around was busy and full of life. People were getting married and having children, either letting happiness in or the opposite. However, at his home, everything was dull and dreary. Everyone was silently waiting for what would happen next. The most difficult aspect of everything Wesley was going through was to remain strong and not to crumble. He did his best to support his daughter and tried to smile as much as he could. Chelsea was an intelligent and mature person, and despite her condition, she was coping well. However, it was difficult for Wesley to see her in that state. He understood how tough it must be for his little girl to be confined to her bed, and to realize that there was only one outcome with no hope for a better future. Mr. Harris, I need you to sign these papers, please. Wesley's secretary approached him. Andy. I need your help. I'm looking for someone who could spend time with my daughter. It doesn't have to be someone certified. Not a robot from the agency, an actual human being. Oh, that's a tough one. Let me think. Someone who can spend time with your daughter and not from an agency. I guess you could try someone her age. Or, I don't know, someone who needs a place to stay. Maybe? Yeah. I guess we can try that. All right. Give me a papers to sign. Wesley completed his work early, as he had promised Chelsea. He then decided to visit a convenience store to get some sweets for her. Even though the housekeeper and doctor had advised against any sugar, Wesley knew that a chocolate bar would make his daughter happy. He was aware that the housekeeper and doctor might get upset, but he wanted to bring a little joy to his daughter's day. As he was leaving the store, Wesley saw a girl standing outside with no particular purpose. He sensed that she was struggling with something internally, although she didn't appear to be homeless or anything. Wesley remembered his own daughter and decided to talk to her and make sure she was okay. Excuse me. Do you need any help at first? The girl was scared, but then she smiled. She apologized and asked if she could have some spare change. She explained that she had run out of money and was feeling hungry. Wesley glanced around and noticed a nearby restaurant. There was a restaurant. Can I buy you some food? Thank you so much, sir. This is really embarrassing. No, you're fine. Don't worry. While on his way to the restaurant, Wesley was contemplating the girl's age. She appeared to be around 15 to 16 years old, just like his daughter. However, her eyes made her seem much more mature than her age. The girl was eating everything that Wesley had bought her. She was so famished that her eating made Wesley feel hungry too. At that instant, he realized that he could ask her to come with him to meet his daughter. I'm sorry. I didn't even ask your name. I'm Melissa. Where are your parents? Do you live with them? Melissa immediately stopped. I don't really know them. I used to live with my grandma at the trailer park. When she passed away 7 months ago, I moved to the city. So do you have a place to stay? Melissa just shrugged her shoulders. I had been staying with my grandma's old friend for 5 months. I was helping out at home, cleaning, cooking and stuff until her children took her to their home in another city. So you're saying you've got nowhere to go, I guess? No. Would you like to live in our house? I have a daughter. Is she sick? How do you know? Wesley was alarmed. Melissa saw that Wesley was confused and figured she had to say something. Well, you look tired. And as soon as I mentioned, I was taking care of my grandma's friend, you instantly lit up. Then you said you had a daughter. And that's how I figured you're quite smart. How old are you? It'll be 16 in a week. Do you have any papers with you? They're in the mall. Not far from here, a kind janitor. Let me store my things in the closet there. I help him mop the floor sometimes, and he lets me stay there. Wesley was thinking he liked Melissa. So what do you think? Do you want to move in with us? I mean, please don't get me wrong. We've got a nurse and the housekeeper. It's just, my daughter needs someone to talk to. That's all I understand. Yeah, I can do that. You don't even know me. You just agreed to go with me. Don't worry, I know you're telling the truth. How much do you think I should pay you, sir? You don't have to pay either. Wesley thought. Melissa was very innocent and genuine. They were in a car, driving past the bright lights of the city, and Melissa was gazing out the window. Wesley saw this as an opportunity to discuss his daughter. So, Melissa, let me tell you about Chelsea. You don't really have to. If she wants to, she'll share her story with me. When she's ready, Wesley agreed with a nod. He was still perplexed and curious about where Melissa had actually come from. When they got to his house, Wesley first showed Melissa her bedroom. She really liked. It's beautiful. Eve never had a bed like that. Make yourself at home. You can unpack while I sip out for a bit. Melissa was thrilled with her own bedroom. She meticulously unpacked her belongings and arranged her clothes tightly in the closet. After finishing, Melissa silently left her room and walked into the hallway where Wesley was walking towards her. He stopped and said that it was time for her to meet Chelsea. Chelsea was sitting in her bed, looking out the window. Hey, honey. Chelsea slowly turned around and smiled. Hey, Dad. Melissa, this is my daughter, Chelsea, and Chelsea. This is Melissa. Chelsea was looking at Melissa with great interest. Nice to meet you, Melissa. She is a really nice young lady. I'm sure you will get along well and make really good friends. Wesley added. Okay, you two go ahead and get acquainted. I'll go change. Melissa slowly walked over to Chelsea's bed and looked at her without saying anything. Hi, she said. Hi, Chelsea replied. Chelsea could feel that Melissa was looking deep into her soul. She had a strange feeling. Chelsea was a little scared and looked at Melissa, but then Melissa smiled. Don't be afraid. Everything's going to be okay. All right. Gradually, the uncomfortable tension between them eased, and they began to talk. When Wesley came back, Chelsea was laughing when he walked in and saw them. He froze. He hadn't seen her. He beamed and heard that laughter. For the last few years, Melissa had been telling her how her grandmother used to make herbal teas. Every time she tried to jog her memory, she would lose her shiny things and think she had left them somewhere. And it turned out that Magpie would fly in and steal them. Are you having fun? Chelsea turned to her father and said, Are we? Wesley said that dinner would be ready in an hour. He expected a refusal from his daughter. As usual, this time Chelsea said, Dad, do you think we can move my bed into the kitchen? I want to eat there. Wesley was shocked. Of course, honey, let me get the chair instead. They had bought a special chair for her a long time ago, but Chelsea had never used it. She had been totally against it. Wesley told the housekeeper to set a table for 3, which surprised her. But when she noticed Chelsea chatting animatedly with another girl, she quickly got to work. Chelsea couldn't eat much, but she had a hearty appetite. It was strange and unusual. It was the first time she had ever eaten well. For a brief moment, Wesley began to question what the doctors had told him, But he realized that doctors from 3 different countries could be wrong at the same time. Before going to bed, Melissa noticed that Chelsea was curled up in pain. "Melissa, can you get the housekeeper? I need a shot." But Melissa walked over to Chelsea and put her palm on her head. After a minute, Chelsea felt the pain subside. She had never felt anything like it before. She wanted to ask how Chelsea did it, but she couldn't. Her eyes were drooping, and she felt like she was going to sleep. Melissa got up to close the door and saw the housekeeper rushing to give Chelsea a shot. "Sorry, ma'am, she's better." She fell asleep. "What do you mean?" "She's sleeping." "About what?" The housekeeper came in and saw that Chelsea was indeed asleep. "That's impossible." 2 weeks had passed and Chelsea had changed a lot. Wesley was amazed. He saw Melissa carefully leading her by the hand. For the first time in years, Chelsea stepped out into the yard. Wesley couldn't believe what he was seeing, but he was still wary that it might be something temporary. "Mr. Harris, where did you find this girl?" the housekeeper asked. "You won't believe this, but I met her on the street outside. A shop is everything. Are you okay?" "Yeah, everything's fine. I mean, I don't know how to say this, but she's a little strange. She knows everything. The other day, she predicted that it would rain in 10 minutes. She told me that my son's sore throat needs to be treated with some kind of herb. I mean, look how much Chelsea has changed. Are you telling me she's some kind of psychic or something? I don't know. I don't really believe in such things, but I don't understand how." Wesley smiled, but he agreed with the housekeeper. Melissa had a piercing look in the morning. Wesley got ready for work. Melissa came out to him from her room. "Mr. Harris, do you have to go to work today?" "Yes." "That is all." Melissa, "Okay. Can you stay home today?" "Please, why?" Melissa, "What's wrong?" "I have a lot of work to do at the office." Melissa kept begging him not to go anywhere and to tell his driver to stay in town today. Wesley didn't know why he agreed to listen to her. Finally, he decided that he could probably work from home today. He turned on the TV. He saw that there had been a terrible accident on the highway involving a dozen cars. It happened right at the exit he was supposed to take, and he usually passes through that area at that time. He immediately got a call from his driver. The driver talked for a while and thanked Mr. Harris for letting him stay in town today. Wesley got up and went to Melissa's room. He couldn't stand it anymore. He wanted to know who she really was. He knocked on her door, but there was no answer. Then, he went to Chelsea's room, and as he approached, he heard loud noises. They were arguing about something. He stood behind a slightly open door and peered through. Melissa was yelling at Chelsea. "Get up." "Now I can't." "Who told you you can't?" "But I'm really sick." "I can't walk." "I shouldn't walk, but you're still alive." "Give me your hand." Wesley froze as Chelsea put her right foot on the floor, then her left, and then stood up. She wobbled immediately, and Wesley was about to lunge, but Melissa had already raised her shoulder for her. "There you go. Good job." Melissa told Chelsea, "And you, that you were meant to be in bed." Chelsea burst out laughing. "Oh my God, I'm standing up. I can't believe it." Wesley stepped back quietly. He didn't care who. Melissa really was a witch, a clairvoyant, a psychic, and if she could make Chelsea walk and get better, she was willing to pray for her until the day he died and take care of her like she was his own daughter. 3 months later. After tests, the doctors were puzzled. "I don't know what to tell you, Mr. Harris. I don't think we were wrong. Only a miracle could have happened, but miracles don't happen." Unfortunately, he wasn't sure of his last words. The miracle did happen, and Chelsea became a healthy baby girl. Once again, Melissa lived with the family. Wesley told her that he would take care of her until she decided to move out on her own.